Did You Have To is a proud member of the But Why Though podcast community.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Did You Have To, a podcast where we're just two bad bitches that talk about anime. As always, I'm Kate.
And I'm Neysha.
And we're talking about Carole and Tuesday today.
Yes! So excited.
I feel like you've been waiting for this one for a while.
Yes! Yes, I have. I've been waiting very long. Not as long as The Promised Neverland.
Yeah.
But you know, I'm happy about this one right now. Yeah. So, I had to throw that one in there.
I know, but it's fine. Becca will remind me.
Yes. No, but like this one, it came out, the first season came out fairly recently. And then when I found out we were getting the second season, I was just like, oh shoot, I'm so excited. And then you had told me you had started watching it, and I've just been waiting since. So we could all like, you could catch up on the first season and the second season. Because I think... Man, we've had quite a few episodes, but I'm pretty sure I said Carole and Tuesday was one of the episodes, like one of my recommendations.
Yes, you did. Yeah,
so, and it's just like, it's such a good show, so I can give y'all a little feedback. I mean, we're kind of skipping the crunch time, because we're talking about an anime today.
Yeah,
so,
that we both think you should go watch, so...
Yes, there. Huh. See how that worked out. So yeah, Carole and Tuesday is a 24-episode anime television series directed by Shinichirō Watanabe. It is produced by Studio Bones in commemoration for the studio's 20th anniversary and 10th anniversary of record label Flying Dog. And it is set in the future on a partially terraformed Mars. Teenager Tuesday Simmons runs away from her affluent lifestyle as the daughter of a politician and makes her way to Alba City to pursue her dream to become a musician with just a suitcase and her Gibson acoustic guitar. On her first day in the city, she crosses paths with Carole Stanley, another aspiring musician who plays the piano, and the two decide to team up as a singer-songwriter duo under the name Carole and Tuesday. Yeah, that's it.
The show is so simple and I love it so much.
Yes.
Which...
Also, oh, sorry, go ahead. I was going to say, if y'all are familiar with the name Shinichirō Watanabe, or if you're just familiar with the name Watanabe, that is because he is the creator of Cowboy Bebop and Samurai Champloo and Space Dandy. So...
literally all of the animes all the anime that you define by their sound, that's him.
Yes. So it's very fitting that this man created an anime that is very much musical driven.
Yeah, because it's one of those things that, like, I don't think gets enough credit. I mean, and Shinichirō Watanabe is, like, a really big guy in anime, so I think most people know who he is. But I think when it comes to understanding the sheer impact that he makes just with music, like, it can't be understated at all.
Like, there is so much, like, when you hear the intro to Cowboy Bebop, like, and and how they use jazz and other sounds and other music throughout that entire series, it is just so good. Like, the music fits the tone of the world. And then, like, same thing with Samurai Champloo, which who would have known hip hop and samurais?
Yeah, well, that was one of the things that I remember specifically about Samurai Champloo was for my friend collective, which I've talked about like on the podcast before. Like, we were mostly like black and brown, and so like for us, like we listened to a lot of hip hop growing up, and a lot of emo music. It was it was literally the weebiest things ever. But that for us, that was something that told us that we went with anime. Like, it was a really not weird thing, but it was a really awesome thing to see, because like my friend group, like, we fell in love with it, and we fell in love with it for like a lot of different reasons, but a lot of it was because it was saying that, oh yeah, our styles, our aesthetics, our likes and passions can all blend from all sorts, and hip hop and anime is a thing that works
very well. It really does, and we see that even today.
Yep.
Just I love it.
It's so good. And Space Dandy is just a like 70s disco tech freaking just like, you probably need some acid to understand any of it, but it's great.
I'm ashamed to say I've only seen one episode of Space Dandy, so I need to get into it.
I've only seen 4. So I'm with you.
It looks fun.
It
Everyone
looks
tells me
amazing.
it's fun.
I've listened to a lot of the songs from it though.
Okay.
So
I need to get on it. Next one for me, maybe. But yeah, let's talk about Carole on Tuesday, though. So yeah,
Yes.
just wanted to like make sure for anyone who I know sometimes we do get some listeners who are new to anime. So if y'all are not familiar with Cowboy Bebop or Samurai Champloo, go watch it. Go watch it, and then y'all will understand exactly what we're talking about and why this man is so good at like with music and anime.
yep, both of which are on Netflix, aren't they?
Yes, they are.
Yep.
Yeah. Actually, no. Cowboy Bebop is on Hulu.
Oh, okay.
But yeah.
Well, Samurai Champloo's on Netflix.
Yep. So y'all go trade passwords with your friends and watch it. But yeah, so let's get into Carole on Tuesday. So we've watched the first and second season, and that's about it. I don't believe there's any more coming out.
Yeah, it ends fairly well.
Yeah, I would say it has a complete ending.
Yeah.
And I do kind of feel like it does leave it open for there to be more at the end of it, like if they wanted to do a movie or if they wanted to do an OVA. But
yeah.
I can be content with this, how they ended things. But let's just start off by talking about the characters. So, who do you like and who do you not like? I feel like that's the easiest way to go about it with this show.
I don't like Erdogan.
Yep.
Let's see. I don't like Angela, but then she gets real tragic, and I'm like, crap, I gotta like Angela.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like I'm forced into liking Angela. I mean, there aren't really a lot of people that I don't like. It's really
Right.
mainly Ertgon, and then like the guy, Angela's producer,
Oh,
the
yeah.
one that is all about like making the perfect sound.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I guess that's something we should make sure we preface here. So, again, y'all, this is set in the future, like the not so distant future, but you can at least tell, like, it's maybe pretty distant in the future. Like, me and Kate will be very old in this setting.
Yes.
And so, like, they're on a partially terraformed Mars, but at this point, music is basically all created through AI.
Yeah, it's all algorithms.
Right, all algorithms, like from pitch to lyrics to tone, everything's decided by what algorithms would say like would perform best or would get the best reaction from people, which is weird. Like,
yeah, I don't like it. But
I don't like it at
So
all.
the weird thing I will say, I don't like it, but that is exactly how K-pop gets made.
True.
So, like, all of the K-pop stuff, or all of the K-pop songs, like, they have specific formulas that they lay out that they have to match. Mm-hmm. And because of that, it creates a very unified sound. It's the same way for building idol bands and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. So, I would really be interested, because I don't know if J-pop is the same way. I would think that it may be, especially with idol culture, but I would be really interesting to see this from the perspective of somebody in East Asia that's Korean or Japanese, and like, because I feel very deeply that it's a commentary on that type of like idol worship and stuff that happens.
Oh yeah, 100%. It's like literally that whole concept of like, here's the face.
Yeah,
You don't really need to have a natural talent, and it's like. You definitely see that from Angela's perspective.
yes,
Like the story, like
she's the idol.
She's the idol. She's like, I have been a child actor my whole life, and I've done this my whole life, and now I'm ready to be a singer. And like she's done all this just so she become a singer. And it's like, that's just so weird. Like the whole like she doesn't want to write. I don't know if it's that she doesn't even want to write her own music, or she's just like used to how the business works. Of like she knows she needs a producer, and her producer will write an amazing song that will make her have an awesome debut. And it's like all just like there's not much creativity. There's no creativity in it. It's all through science, and it's just like I don't know how I feel about music and lyrics and all that coming out of just like data. Like, from what they know that people will respond well to. Instead of, like, writing lyrics from, like, your heart. And I'm not saying all artists have to even write the lyrics. It's just, like, she's just like waiting for the producer to give her something to work off of. And or just like actually she just becomes a doll. That's right. She just becomes like a doll, and her body is just used like to manipulate the sounds and the pitch that her producer wants her to make.
Yeah.
And that just got creepy for me. But
well, because it goes all to the point of like literally replacing her with an AI hologram.
True. Right. And it's like all from like this whole thing is like, I just made her to help you sing better. I'm just like, or you made her to replace her.
Yeah.
Like, where's the line? Because like you studied her pitch, her voice, her structure, her body,
you created a new her.
Right. And it's like, they made a holographic Tupac.
Yeah.
And that's what, ooh. Yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead. Yeah, no.
It's like, that's what made me think, like, did dog get this from Tupac? Like, when people made a holographic Tupac? What is this?
Yeah. Well, let me look up her. There we go. They did the same thing with Jenny Rivera. So, Jenny Rivera was a very, very, very famous, like, Chicana singer. And they also brought her back with a hologram.
Really?
Yes.
That's so weird.
Yeah.
I remember, what was it? Was it Whitney or Prince? It was probably Whitney or Prince that somebody said, like, oh yeah, hologram. I'm like, this is exactly why people have to be careful to not allow this to happen.
It was with Prince. It was for the Super Bowl halftime show that was in Minnesota. And Justin Timberlake, because Prince was very against it, and then Justin Timberlake ended up putting like an image of him on the screen while he did a debut, and they were like, it's not a hologram. It's like, yeah, but you're still using his image after his death, which he said he did not want you to do.
Exactly. Which, that all ties into like this whole thing where I think it's really creepy, because like after somebody dies, so in this setting, in this anime, if Angela were to die, the hologram could have still been going on as her and performing. So then you don't even grieve the loss of the human anymore.
Yep.
You're just like, and you're still like participating and taking, because the whole thing is that the thing is her. It has her personality. It has her voice, her pitch, everything. And it can behave as her and as she's programmed. So then I think about like the real world applications there. It's like Jet Li purposely, like, I think it was like publicly, there was a studio that wanted to record all of his movements, all of his moves.
Yeah.
And then he decided, no, if I'm going to record them, I'll do it, and I'll have a contract, and my family will have rights to it, because he don't want to end up as a hologram.
Yeah.
And and them making money off of him.
Yeah.
And like, ooh, that's just like, it rubs me the wrong way.
It's creepy. It's unnatural. It's ugh.
It's not right. It's just weird. So, yeah, which I say all this to say because Carole and Tuesday are different in the respect that, one, they don't have money for all that. They're not rich. They are two broke girls.
Specifically, Carole is not rich because she left all of her richness behind.
That is correct. Thank you. We need to make sure.
Because that girl is privileged and...
Oh, wait.
Tuesday. Sorry. Yeah, not Carole. Tuesday. That girl is privileged as hell, and then she comes into Carole's life, and Carole teaches her the ways of how not to be that way.
Thank you. And I'm so glad Carole did not, like, go easy on her.
Oh, yeah.
Like, you're going to have to get a job. You're going to have to learn how to clean. You're going to need to learn how to... You're going to have to... Come on. Get it together. So, yeah. So they can't afford, like, a producer or a songwriter or a song or, like, however, and all that stuff. So they're unique in the sense that they actually know how to write their own songs. And they know how to play instruments still. Like, it's almost like something that's ancient to find someone who actually plays instruments instead of just, like, using a machine to make the sounds that they want them to make. Just because that's not how a lot of musicians do things anymore. But yeah, so that's like amazing.
Yeah.
And that's what I think like really sets them apart from, like, it shows you how like different they are from the other singers that you're introduced to.
Yeah. Which is something that, like, because as they get together, they end up going on like a talent show and in part one, and that's something that sets them apart. But then you realize really quickly that because they're using this really acoustic, not acoustic, but just like they're using this natural music. It sets them apart, but it also makes them sound like the production isn't as big. And so when you're watching them perform as a viewer, you're worried that they're not going to be loved or make it as far because of that.
Like they're gonna be cut, or they're just gonna like, because immediately when like I think they're doubted. So like when they're in the first season, they are trying to make it big, and they decide like, okay, we're gonna form a songwriting duo, and like we're gonna make our own band. Cool. Through like their own circumstances and stuff, like they record themselves and they put it on Instagram, and then that's how their manager finds them. But then they were trying to, at some point they meet Erdogan.
Yeah.
And they have an opportunity to like show him like what they're working on. They make a song, and he mocks them for using instruments.
Yeah.
Like he basically, like that, to your point, like it's the whole thing about like not having like a huge production. Like he makes fun of them for like using instruments, and like they kind of just like, well, this is what we do.
Yeah.
And it's just like, wow. So it kind of sets the tone, like, this is how most of, like, these famous singers or, like, people of this status are going to treat them. So, yeah, when they go onto the show, it's, like, this whole thing about it's great that they're able to make it as far as they do because everyone else has, like, their own songs, or they have, like, their own huge production going on while they're playing instruments and singing.
Yeah. And it's something that, like, because, like, when you go back to, like, the characters that we liked and didn't like, that is, I think, what makes me dislike characters on here are the ones that are so blinded by what they think something should sound like that they refuse to give in at all or even see the other side. And it's one of those things where I find it really intriguing because then, like, you have Erdogan on one hand, and then you have, what I really liked and what I think they did a great job at was you had people who existed in like the synthetic area, specifically with like how they saw music, and you listen to Desmond, and Desmond was very much in that kind of like glam, maybe more so technical type thing, but was still really soulful. And he was the other side of the coin to Erdogan, because Erdogan was like, no, I don't believe any of this. And he, on the other hand, was so moved by the girls that he invited them in and helped them.
That's true.
Sorry.
Mm-hmm. It's okay. I think it's definitely because you're like Desmond. I think that name definitely makes me. But like, I think I like that. I liked everything about that character, like the moments they had with him. Damn it! Okay, we're just gonna cut this out.
Yeah.
Okay, I like the moments that they had with them because I think it was just really powerful for them to meet someone that understood their like attachment to their instruments too. Yeah.
No, that's 100%, because like there was just an understanding of like love and creation and music, and it was a deeper connection than they really had with anybody really in the rest of the series.
True, because I think like they do actually meet some other musicians who are like genuine and love the craft and love like the creativity still behind it, and they're not so much about the algorithms and the AI. But I think the moment they got to have with Desmond is something that they kind of like really valued. Not to mention because like they literally died in front of them or went into a deep slumber in front
of them. That was weird. I didn't know what the hell any of that was, but I was with it.
I still was trying. I rewinded those scenes twice. I was just still trying to like, so what disease do you like? What is going on? What it like? Please explain to me how you slumber and then that you go into death, but then you come back. I just didn't understand it. I just didn't get it. But, you know, it's Watanabe, so... Yeah. I feel like there's always, like, a character like that just, like, it's very mysterious and something weird is going on.
Pretty much.
Like, yeah. I was just like, are you a vampire? But anyway, oh wait, I guess that. Oh, I feel bad saying that because I think they couldn't actually be in sunlight.
Yeah, that's what it. Yeah, that's what it was. I think. Well, so I think it was. So from my understanding of Desmond, was that they were exposed to some sort of radiation that like changed them and
Right.
gave them a sickness. Mm-hmm. I think,
But was it
but
also through like this sickness that's what started to change their gender too?
yes, yeah,
Okay, right. And
yeah,
like it sounds like from like the character, it sounds like they were already
binary.
non-binary.
Yes,
Yeah. So
yeah,
they were already non-binary, but like this sickness that also like changed their bodies, but then it's also their whole health deteriorated too,
yeah,
which is just kind of sad. But like that explains why they kind of just you know locked themselves away or locked people out. But
yeah,
I think I really liked that character in the moment they got to have with them.
yeah.
But okay, so we've talked about those two. Oh, let's talk about the main two. So Carol and
Yes.
Tuesday. How so? Obviously, I love Tuesday. I'm not Tuesday. Sorry, Carol. I'm gonna
Yeah.
mix up their names. I just love. Again, it's just something to see a brown girl, a brown slash black girl in anime, and it just always makes me giddy and happy.
Yeah.
Because I just like I can see someone that looks like me. I can like her with her locks too. It's important to me that she had locks.
Yeah.
Which is really important to me because they got anime wigs of her hair out there and they look wrong. They look like horrendous things. Like
They
something
real bad.
look like something out of a Sonic the Hedgehog movie. But I just like it's just so important to me that how do I put this? Like the character is black. Like she's like or like it's a certain things that how she talks about stuff
Yeah.
that and how like she talks about stuff to Tuesday that like she kind of checks Tuesday a few times about
Yeah.
her about herself and then it's like other things where like she talks about her past and growing up and other things and I just feel like it's not one of those things where like when we watch Cannon Busters and this is no shade to Cannon Busters but it's not like Carol is saying oh hey I'm black but it's just
Yeah.
like the way the character acts that I feel like I can claim her as black.
Yeah.
Like I can look
She's
at her.
being like she is you're an experience that you see. Like you're seeing her as
Yes.
more than just a skin color. You're seeing her as somebody who's been through the things you have been through or can understand you.
Yes.
That
And
makes
this is
total
why-
sense.
Thank you. And this is why you're a great co-host because you can put words to things I feel.
No, I mean, but like it's the stuff I feel watching the MCU. They don't have a single Latina actually playing a Latina. So
Right.
like I have them. They're not actually that, so it's a little bit different.
Right. No, that's a really good point because like it's not the same thing. It's really not. And it's just like I feel like it shows in how these characters interact
Yeah.
with one another, but then also in different situations. And it gets frustrating. But it's just like she's one of my favorites. Like her whole thing about like when they're talking to each other, like she's like, "Oh, I wear Tim's." It's just like I thought that was cute. I'm like Timberland shoes still exist.
You know they
And,
do.
like, I know. But it's just like I'm like, oh girl, how can you afford Timberlands? You broke. But, no shade. But I just love her so much. She's a hard worker. She's like young and she gets it. Like
Yeah.
she knows the world won't hand her anything, but she just has also like this very positive attitude.
Yeah.
That
She hasn't been broken by the world. Like
yes, even though she should have. By now,
exactly.
but
Yeah.
she's not.
Yeah.
Like she grew up in an orphanage, in a refugee orphanage, and on Earth, and then they don't really explain how she got there. It's like pretty briefly like glanced over how she got to Mars, but she got to Mars, so she's an immigrant technically, and like that's a whole nother plot in the series when they touch on immigration and the people who came from Earth to Mars and all this stuff, and it's like you see how life has not ever been easy for her.
Yeah.
So it's like, wow, this girl got spirit. The other, and then her counterpart. Oh, sorry. You got any thoughts on on Carole?
No, I mean, I loved her. I loved her, and I mean, I think the bulk of my thoughts that I see is going to come when we talk a little bit about Ezekiel and kind of like that underpinning there, because I have a lot of
Yeah.
thoughts. But no, I loved Carole. I loved Carole for a lot of the reasons that you said you loved her. Mainly because it for me, like, I've been through enough crap in this world that it is very hard for me to stay positive with a lot of things. I try desperately. And so, like, seeing a character who has been through it and is still maintaining that hope,
Yep.
it was amazing to see. It was one of those things where, like, it is possible. I know she's fictional, but like, it it is possible, and it is possible to succeed without completely turning inside yourself. And I just thought her friendship with Tuesday was beautiful. Like, I like Carole and Tuesday
Yeah.
as a series covers so many really, like, intense topics, but I think one of the most beautiful ones is the, like, Carole and Tuesday's capacity for friendship and love. And I think that is what defines Carole, is her ability to open and to love and to do that in spite of what's around her. And I think that is just really great, because, like, it would have been really easy, because she has a tragic backstory, kind of, but it would have been really
Right.
easy to define her by her trauma, and they didn't
Yes.
do that.
I agree. And I'm glad they didn't do that. Mm-hmm. Because I just feel like that would have... I just feel like I hate that trope when it comes to characters when something traumatic has happened to them.
Yeah.
I mean, like, and it's obvious that that is a hard part of her life, but that isn't her whole life.
Yes.
And I think that's like that's more important. It's like she knows that's a part of her life, but she doesn't take that with her everywhere. Or like she carries it with her, but it's not like something that's like this huge thing that's a part of her that eclipses everything else about her.
Yeah.
So yeah, I agree. And then like you said, like when it comes to her relationship with Tuesday, I like that they are just like their relationship is just so cute.
It
It's
is.
like it's so pure and cute and supportive, and it's like Carole didn't have to stop and help Tuesday. She didn't have to let her into her home or anything, but it's like you see the goodness in Carole and you see the pureness in like Tuesday, just like making friends with anybody. I feel like her just
Tuesday
like
is just a little baby bird who
She is a baby
needed
bird.
somebody to come watch her, because, oh Lord.
if she could have ended up in a terrible situation. I just like, how do you lose your almost all your clothes, all your belongings in less than 1 hour of getting into the city? I'm just like, girl. I'm just like, whew.
Yeah.
Carole and Tuesday ain't that kind of show where something terrible could happen, like, in the first episode. But
Yeah. Well,
I was
because
just, oof.
it was one of those things too that I really appreciated, is that Carole, or no, not Carole, Tuesday is very spacey. And she's that way because she's never had to think. Like, she's
Yeah.
the daughter of a very famous politician who has a lot of money, and she was in a mansion beforehand and then left that mansion. And it's one of those where they could have very easily made her one note and
Yeah.
made her only be as important as being vapid, as important as being kind of the person that Tuesday, or that Carole has to continually take care of. And I think what I love about Tuesday as a character is that there's growth behind her, and she still maintains that kind of like Pollyanna, be friends with everybody vibe, but she also learns, and she learns by failing, but she's never like, Carole never reprimands her for failing. like Carole is there to bring her through that failure. And I think that that is something that is just really beautiful about their friendship and really beautiful about them as characters, because they do both grow and they do both have these kind of dynamic lives that are informed by not only what they go through in the show, but like what they see other people go through. Like it isn't just what they're actively dealing with, but what they see other people start to deal with, which is like the part 2 of the series is just about them kind of reacting to, you know, Ezekiel, who I think I've mentioned a lot now, being imprisoned for essentially like for being undocumented, but more so speaking out against the government. And they weren't involved and they didn't have to be involved, but they did what they could.
And I think that's like a huge, like, it takes up maybe the latter half of the second season. Yeah, the latter half of it, as that being like a huge plot point. And I'm like, wow, look at Carole Tuesday handling immigration issues on this show.
Yeah.
And I was impressed with it because, like, to the point when you think of like our society right now and how like we have celebrities who like, and musicians and everything, who will like speak against like immigration, who take a stand against it, who loudly talk to politicians and use their status and platform to do this. But then you think about it as like, wow, the government literally started, and like on the show, started deporting and detaining people for speaking out about it. Or like it was the one band, the dude in the yellow jumpsuit. What was their band name?
I don't remember their
name. They were like the Fugees.
Yeah.
But their band, and like because he, in retaliation to them arresting Ezekiel, he put out a song and he spoke out against the deportation and the detainment and everything and what they were doing. Because fun fact, Tuesday's mom is they didn't say Republican, but she's a Republican.
She's a Republican. She's alt-right. Like, well,
right.
But it's funny because, like, she technically isn't. Just the people that she's listening to are. Whatever. Her mom's an awful politician.
Right.
She just wanted power.
Because she all she wants to do, again, the world is run by algorithms. So she was trusting whatever her campaign manager was saying was based off of algorithms and bullshit, but she's terrible. So she wasn't even making her own informed decisions, and she decides to back to make one of her campaign promises to be about getting rid of the illegal immigrants.
Yep.
Well, Ezekiel spoke out against that, and they didn't like it, and like you said, they threw him in jail. And then then it starts like this whole thing of like other musicians are speaking out against it, and like basically Mars is telling them, "Shut up, just make music." Which it's like then you're just impeding on their right to be creative and to make music, and like their freedom of speech. Like it's basically just taking it all away from them, and that's just like it's crazy. But like that's what makes like the season finale and season 2 so, I think, beautiful. Is how everyone comes together.
Yeah.
In order to combat against that, like not being afraid to do it. I mean, they're afraid to do it, but I think that was like a really beautiful moment. And how everyone uses, even Erdogan showed up.
I know.
I
didn't think he was gonna.
I didn't think he was gonna. I didn't need. I kind of was gonna be like, well, I kind of hope you didn't show up, but it's fine. You're not a complete asshole.
Yeah. The one thing I do wish, and again, like it's that anime problem. We don't know what the background of these characters are. Like anime just gives people brown skin and that's it. But I do think that I ultimately, like, I wish because of this. What do you call it? Because of this subplot, because of the immigration subplot, I wish that there had been like Spanish being spoken and like stuff like that. Just because I think that would have like hit home a lot more. Because like but it also is different too because I don't know the state of immigration in Japan.
Right.
And so that's where this is coming from versus like in the U.S. Although I do feel like this is a very U.S. centric series.
Right. True, and I mean. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, like, I just think for us and somebody who is, like, you know, for me coming out of a community that is actively dealing with that type of stuff, it would have been nice on the diversity and like representation and inclusion front to actually show us at least a little bit.
Right.
But yeah.
Right. No, and I agree. I get that point too, because I guess I wonder, well, let me get my first thought out. Part of it is like, I think Watanabe has always been like very big on diversity in his
Yes,
shows.
he has. He really, really has.
And I think that's something like I've always loved about it. But then you're right. Like, how would they have done that? And like with this series being originally created in Japan, I totally agree with you there. Like, I think definitely the representation for Latinx should have been there, especially with that subject matter. But then, like you said, like, what is it like in Japan? Like, and then are they going to do the work to include those characters in there appropriately and not just include them only for that part?
Yeah. Like, and again, it's one of those things where it's like, I don't know. Maybe some of the people that were brown in there were Latino. I don't know. Like, we come in so many shades and colors. Like, like, we're all different shades of brown. Like, so, like, we could be any of them. Like, we could be in there. But I think because there's a lot of... I guess I kind of think about how, like, Cowboy Bebop used language, like, different kinds of languages in it. Like, I feel like that would have been really cool to see. Just as like this is a 100% for sure, but yeah, no, I think overall, like, it's a super small, minimal, like, it's a nitpick problem. I think overall it was executed well. Like, that entire subplot was executed well.
Yeah, and I think you make a good point about it though, because like I think we've had this discussion plenty of times. Like, what is Yoriichi? I claim her as black. You claim her as Latina. And honestly, I feel like it's about what we each, like, we can claim that character for ourselves.
Yeah.
Like how...
Because the anime doesn't tell us what they are.
Right.
Anime just says, here's a brown woman. Pick.
Yes. For real. We never get them. Like, that's my whole point. It's like, Carole never says she's black. But it's just like, I
there are
see
things
her as
that you
black.
see, yeah. Yes. And that's the thing. I do think that there are genuinely characters that, like, you can... And I think it's also harder, too, with Latinos and, like, Latinas, because, like, you can be black and Latina. You can be Asian and Latina. Like, it's a weird thing.
Right.
And I just have, like, a super skewed concept of it because, like, I'm Mexican. Like, my family has always been in Texas, and Texas is majority Mexican when it's that on, like, the sphere. And, like, we don't all look alike, but, like, I go into a mall in San Antonio and I look a lot like a lot of them.
Right.
And so it's kind of those, like, I can't tell you what... Like, because there is no one way to be or phenotypically look like being Latino or Latina. Like, I know a lot of, like, really pale Latinos. But it is something that, like, I don't know. I just want more. No, just language. Give me, like, a language thing, maybe.
Like we have a Battle Angel Alita.
Yeah.
Like, you literally hear the language. Like, I like that touch. I think that was very good.
Yeah, and
so
small
that's a
little
really
things.
Good point. Exactly. But who were we talking about? We kind of went down. We talked about Ezekiel. Oh,
Ezekiel is amazing, though. I love him.
He is amazing, and I love the fact that you can definitely tell Watanabe designed him after the mumble rappers. It's just like that look. It's like the piercings and the purple hair with, like, the hairstyle, like the dyed locks.
All he needed was a face tattoo.
All he needed was a face tattoo, and I'm so glad he didn't do that to that boy. I'm just like, oh, please don't give him a face tattoo. But I definitely like how they bring in certain character design. So we can get into this, but I do have one comment to make on Tuesday. Like, our sweet little baby bird. Did you notice at the beginning of the series how, like, she would jump every time a brown person stepped on the scene?
Yes, I noticed that. I noticed that.
I have feelings.
Yeah.
I need a girl to chill. I really needed her to chill with that because it was only every time with a brown person.
Well, her mom is a racist, so, like...
True. And that's what I chopped it up to. You're like, it's okay, your mama's racist. You don't know any better. You don't know any better. And, like, eventually I think she stopped.
She does, yeah.
I honestly thought I think first time I watched it, I was kind of like, oh, she's just easily scared and she's shy because she was locked away for forever. Like, lived alone in a giant mansion. And then I realized this girl is scared of brown people. Just popping up. Like, and like, you're in their neighborhood and you're just popping up.
Yep.
So, I was like, I had to get that off my chest. But
no, it is very valid. I saw it. So like, it is one of those things where like, I do think it was put in there to show that like, oh yeah, she comes from a racist family.
Racist and like sheltered and like, ugh.
Yeah. But like, I am happy.
Super privileged.
Like, I am happy that like, she had immense growth.
Yes.
And I think they did it in I don't know how you felt about it, but I think they did it in such a way that like, I also never felt like Carole was burdened by having to like teach her the world. Like, it was something that like ended up just happening naturally through interaction versus like, I gotta teach this white woman how to behave.
Yes. Like, she literally, it's natural and it doesn't feel like microaggressive.
Yeah. Like, Carole is not Carole is not now devoting her life to teach this poor little white girl how the world works. She's just like, Carole, you live with me now? Let's go.
Right. You need to get a job. You can't sleep all day. Get it together. We gotta pay rent. We gotta do this. We gotta do that.
She does the throw it. She essentially just throws her into the pool. Like, this is where we are. You gotta do it.
And I think that's like the best way to do it because like that's how she learns. And it's not like she's mean or anything.
Yeah. Because she's compassionate the whole time. Just.
Like, if I was Carole, I would have been like, girl, you lost all your money?
Yeah, how the hell you lose all of it?
Where'd you lose it? And can we go find it? But, yeah, I just think their friendship is cute. And I like that it doesn't seem like Carole is stuck doing a lot of, like, burden work of having to explain, like, all this stuff to her. It's more like, I'm helping you because I know you don't know any better.
Yeah.
So I thought that was nice. But okay, now that we've covered the characters. Oh, we forgot one. Angela.
Yes. Well, we kind of talked about her in the beginning.
Oh yeah, that's true.
We did talk about her there. But I do think like there is something to say that Angela also has her own turning points, especially in part 2, because part 1 she's just annoying.
Very.
I kind of just see her as like a Britney Spears type, like someone who has been groomed to be in this business and then suffers like traumatic moments and
mental health and all
mental
that.
health issues. She suffers from it, and I think that is one of the things that I found really interesting about it is that it was like Watanabe like very consciously chose to do that with a character where he makes her so perfect and the pinnacle of like what people want Carole and Tuesday to be, and then he complicates her by giving her some deepness and some trauma, because trauma
trauma equals growth.
Yes.
But no, I agree with that completely, because like when we first meet her in season 1 from where we end up with her in season 2, season 1 you just think of her as like she's just spoiled and a bitch. Like, she's a spoiled, bitchy pop queen. I'm like, she's talented. I would give her talent and everything. But then it's like, you don't get much beyond that with her. Like, yeah, she works hard and she is actually talented naturally. Like, she works hard at her craft and everything. Yeah. But we don't, like, go deep into the character. But then in, like, season 2, I don't know how I like that we got more about her, but I don't know if, like, part of me at first felt like this just seems like it's kind of just, like, pushed in here as a sub B plot and doesn't really add anything besides more growth for her character. But I did at least appreciate some of it. It was just kind of like, so it's the whole thing where it's like this is spoilers, y'all, but we get the reveal that she was a genetically made baby. Yeah. Like a test tube baby.
A designer baby.
Designer baby, that's right. And there were only two designer babies ever made. And it turns out the one before her was 5 years before her. And then she was made 5 years after. And then, so she had always thought that the person she called mother was her mother. But then she starts having memories and stuff and remembers that, like, I think she always knew that her mother was trans.
Yeah.
And then there was confusion around that whole thing with their relationship. It sounds like the mother was actually manipulative and a bit abusive. And then this all came from, like, then there was, like, a stalker going on.
Oh my God. So that's one of the things that I actually liked that they kind of handled. Because, like, the Black Knight, you had the Black Knight in part 2 with Angela, but you also see it a little bit with Sybil in part 1 and Tuesday. Like, they actually, like, take on, like, the crazed fan thing. So, like, you get to see, like, that side of it, like, the dark side of being there.
Yeah. Which, again, to Carole's point, she kind of snapped on Tuesday after the situation with Sybil, because Carole kept on, like, telling her, like, girl, you need to watch out. You need to be careful. You need to, like, tell them you're not interested. And it's like, I think, because Tuesday is just, like, our little baby bird who's very friendly and nice, but doesn't know how to set her boundaries. Mm-hmm. But it's also, like, this whole thing of, like, it was a learning lesson for a learning moment for Tuesday, because she ends up getting hurt.
Yeah. Like,
attacked. But it's not her fault that she gets attacked. Like, I'm not victim blaming her.
Yeah. No, but it is one of those things where she did not know how to look for the signals in a very, very apparent signal-filled issue.
Yes. Like, the whole, like, the person is just, like, literally, like, I think they even kiss her.
Uh-huh. They bite her on the neck.
Yeah. And she's just, like, she doesn't, like... And
then she doesn't tell Carole.
Right. And it's, like, I don't know if it's because she's scared about it, or, like, and still not knowing what to do, but it's, like, that situation just kept getting worse and worse and worse until it got to the point where, like, you got attacked. Like, they set up not exactly a bomb, like a traditional bomb, but a bomb, like a stun grenade bomb.
Yeah.
And that was just, like, so creepy. But then, like, they do the creepy fan stalker thing again in season 2 with Angela. Oh. And that kind of, like, turned it on its head. And then that's kind of like I feel like that's the first step that kind of drove her mental health down a spiral.
Yeah, it was. It really was. And then after that, they end up, her producer ends up getting arrested. Mm-hmm. And then
because they were one of the ones that were, like, getting the word out about how the algorithms and stuff was crooked with the government or whatever. Yeah. But sorry, you were saying.
Yeah, no, and then the next piece is her mother ends up falling ill and dying, which is like, and it came out of nowhere. And it happened so fast.
That's my thing. Like, all these things just kind of happened back to back to back with Angela. So, and they were all definitely B plots.
Yeah.
Like, they were slightly connected. Like, the whole designer baby and then producer thing was slightly connected to the overall plot with them, like, with the government and algorithms and AI. But, and basically capitalism.
Yeah.
Like, that's, like, what one of the big things came down to, is, like,
capitalism bad.
Capitalism bad, ruins music and creativity in politics. But... yeah, I just don't know how I felt about all that in the moment. I think it just felt rushed and unnecessary, but it got to the point where, like, she was overdosing on medicine, or, like, no, she hadn't overdosed. She was exhausted and taking pills.
Yeah.
And then she, like, was supposed to perform at the Mars Grammys or win a award.
So that scene actually really hurt me. Yeah. Like, because she's, like, her mom has just died. Yeah. And she comes to the Grammys and they tell her, like, you don't have to do this. Mm-hmm. And she just says, no, this was always my mom's dream. Right. And it was like, she's gonna do it because she has to. But at the same time, she's, like, broken. Like, she's just completely just hurt and not okay. And then she goes and she sings and then she passes out.
Yep.
And I would say that was probably my favorite part with her character, not because she got injured, but because you actually got to see her pain. Like, she couldn't hide it anymore. Mm-hmm.
Because she's felt the need to stay perfect.
Yes.
In every aspect. Like, I'm perfect. I'm this,
Yep.
I'm that. Like, all, like, from music to acting to modeling, all this stuff, she's just felt that she needs to, like, achieve being perfect. And part of that is due to her mother, I want
Yeah.
to say. But it's like,
Harmful expectations of your children.
yes. And then it's like, it also sounds like, I mean, there's more depth with the mother and Angela thing that I don't think we're going to get, because it's a 30-minute show. But
Yeah.
also, it just sounds like it's very easy to see from, like, their last few hours of interaction before the mother dies,
Yeah.
before the mother falls ill, that they that there's some trauma with her upbringing, and Angela's, like, never probably been able to deal with it with her mother, so it's like unresolved trauma also. I don't
Yeah.
know, it got real deep real fast. It just
It was a lot.
it was a lot, and I just had to take a
she's-
break. I'm like, whoo, okay, next
Oh,
episode.
yeah.
But it's still good, still a great show. But, like, yeah, I agree with you. I like that we got to see her actually be vulnerable, because everyone just thinks she's perfect.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Whew. What a show. And then I'm trying to think of anything else. So we talked about those characters. Oh, I had a question that would be fun. Who would be some real life characters you would insert into the show? Like, we know, like, so example, who would be Erdogan if, like, they, like, a real life musician? Like, who would be his real life counterpart?
I guess the only person I could think of is Tiesto.
Yeah, I can see that.
That's the only thing I think of.
I can't think of, like, I'm trying to, I think I've kind of thought about it as, like, their sounds, because no one's going to be as pompous or anything as, like, as Erdogan. Like, I don't think I know anyone like that.
Yeah.
One of mine is, Beyonce, is for, was it Flora?
Flora. No.
Oh, not Flora.
Oh, I gotta pull up the character list again. Crystal.
Crystal, yes. Crystal is Beyonce, and Beyonce is Crystal.
Oh, yeah.
Because all the work Carole and Tuesday had to do for that one song that they were performing.
I know.
I think this is Beyonce. You can't do. She's not gonna perform anything unless she's 100% behind it. Oh, so perfect. I thought that was good.
And then my favorite, or the one that I clocked right away, was GGK is FKA Twigs. Like,
100%.
hands down. Like, that actress's, or that character's entire animation is FKA Twigs, as well
And
as
it's
her
blatant.
aesthetic. Yeah.
Yes, it's blatant, but I don't think, like, in a malicious way. Like, that's just
No,
her.
yeah, that was the inspiration. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I've got PewDiePie or Justin Bieber from the YouTube Boy.
Oh,
became a singer.
never say PewDiePie. That
I know.
Because Piotr was at least a nice person.
True, Piotr was a nice person. I think he just, like, annoyed me
Yeah.
with, like, all, like
That's
YouTube.
fair. That's fair.
That was
No,
it.
he was totally on his influencer bullshit, but he was he was a nice person, and PewDiePie is a racist. So
Right.
I will
exactly.
not put that.
No. Not PewDiePie. What's his name? The Jake boy. The one with the weird hair. The blonde boy. He wants to be a Marvel
They're all
superstar.
blonde.
You know who I mean. He wants to be a Marvel superhero. Blonde, annoying. He went to Japan and went to that forest.
Oh, you're talking about Logan Paul?
Yes.
Again, I wouldn't put that evil on Piotr.
I'm just saying the annoying part.
Okay, that's fine.
I'm not saying Piotr is evil. I'm just saying he
The annoying
reminds-
of recording everything.
recording everything and being in everyone's face and, like, just that kinda
that's fine.
that's it.
fine.
But he's not. I will not put that evil of PewDiePie or Logan Paul on that boy. He's at least sweet.
Yeah, he is. He's very nice, and he cared about them.
Yeah, he did. I mean, like, they show up at the end, but I don't want to spoil it. I mean, I've already kind of spoiled enough for y'all, but go watch the show. Is what we're saying. I'm trying to think if there's any other characters. Nope. Oh, one more question, and it's relevant to something that's coming up for us in next month. How do you feel about like them going back to South by Southwest?
Ah! I'm so excited. I'm so excited. Oh.
Yes. Same. Because for y'all that may not know yet, if you don't, I mean, if y'all follow us on Twitter, y'all might have seen this already, but Carole and Tuesday, the actual band, Carole and Tuesday, will be at South by Southwest this year when Kate and I are at South by Southwest. I'm so happy.
I saw it because I saw it this weekend,
Mm-hmm.
and I just I lost my shit.
Yes,
Like,
you did. You literally
I
cussed me
saw-
out because I did
I
not
was like,
answer
bitch, answer your phone! Answer it! And then I said, I call you. And I called you.
Yes, you called me, and I was just like, I'm at Walmart. What's wrong?
And you were excited. Just like I saw it.
Oh,
I
I
saw
was.
it happen. And it was like, oh my God, they're coming. They're coming. Oh my God, Neysha, they're coming. Like, it's just going to be amazing. Like, as a weeb, like,
Yes.
yo, it's going to be amazing.
Mm-hmm. And it's just like so dope because like that's another thing I like about this show is like the real world things they add to it. Like the Mars Grammys. Not just the Grammys, but like there's that. But then there's also like the whole like South by Southwest. Like they could have called it something else, but like I just always I like those little things about it. Like I think it's cool. Like, 100 years in the future, South by Southwest is still going strong.
Yeah.
But the whole like them actually going to be at South by Southwest this year, like you're right. Like as a weeb, I am so excited because if y'all have not listened to Carole and Tuesday's album yet, go listen to it. It is just so good. There's a song for everything, literally everything. It is so good, and I'm excited to see them live in concert. Not concert, but yeah, performing live.
It's going to be amazing. It's going to,
Yes.
I love the soundtrack so much. I love all of the songs. I love how everything is marked with every episode has a different song name to it.
Yes.
And they're like classic songs, but they fit the theme. Like my favorite one was Immigrant Song, which is Led Zeppelin song, as the title for Ezekiel's episode.
Nice.
That was my favorite one. And just like some of my favorite parts in this series is watching Carole and Tuesday make their music. Like coming up with the beats and adding in the lyrics and getting to see them live, just like living that music out. Oh my God. I didn't know that could be a thing.
It makes right? It's just like, I never think about it. Like, I don't know how to put this. Like, I love anime music.
Yeah.
I love a lot of it. But like Carole Tuesday is like, it's not just like an anime opening song that I like a lot. Like I love all the music from their albums. And it's just like so good and it hits my soul like a different way than some music does. And it's just like so like it can make me feel like really, really good when I'm having a shitty day. And it's just like to experience it live, that's gonna be so fun. It's just, and like you said, as a weeb, because, like, I don't know if it's because, like, maybe I associate the music with the character. Well, yeah, it is that. I associate the music with the characters, like, with the actual animated characters. And I think they're just, like, so dope. And, like, you're right. Like, I think of, like, the laundromat scene when they're, like, coming up with the beats for that.
Yes! That was so good.
It's such good. It's just, like, it's so good. And I just love it. But it's, like... I like how like they write music together and everything, and I'm like I would be curious. This is just a shot in the dark. If we could shoot our shot, I would love to interview them.
I would too,
and ask them if they and like one of my questions would be asking them like how much input did you have on your characters? Like, do y'all actually come up to music together like this in this setting? I mean, like I would probably do my research and find out if that's already been asked, but. I don't want to be like an idiot and ask them that. But it's just like one of those things that I would love to find out is like because like I remember in season 2, because like they went to South by Southwest in the first season and they got booed at. And then like them going a second time was like them redeeming themselves.
Yes.
Because they're older and they're wiser and like they've been doing this for a year now. So they go and they, instead of trying to come up, they kept on trying to come up with like something big and flashy they could do, because like that's what other people were doing. And then they finally realized, like, we don't want to do something big and flashy. We need to do something that, like, here, let's invite you into our, like, what we do, into our experience, like how we come up with music together. Sometimes we're just sitting on the couch together and we're humming, or we play a few chords, and this is how we make music together. I'm like, where did that come from? Is that real? Because I would love if that's real. Because it's so cute.
I want it to be real.
I want it to be real so
bad.
Same. I'm just like, please tell me it's real. You can even lie to me, but so excited. Yay.
It's gonna be amazing, and so when we see them, because we will make this happen, we're gonna do an episode on it, even if it's just like a mini episode, because it's gonna mean something, because like I think that, like we said earlier, Watanabe is known for his use of music. Mm-hmm. But I think that this takes it to a whole new level, in that all of these singers were actual singers. All of this music was actual music. And the fact that they can even go and perform, that's just amazing.
I agree. I think that's really something to take away from, like, this anime. Just, like, it's something that adds, like, a deeper level to it.
Yeah.
But it's just so good. And, like, if y'all just need to go watch it if you haven't, like, brought the goodness that is Carole and Tuesday into your lives.
It's good, and it's wholesome, and gosh, man.
It's good and wholesome, but then it also will deal with, like, serious issues. And not in a way that's, like, sugarcoating it either. I think that's, like, something else that, like, I really like about it. It's just, like, it goes there, but it also is such, like, this good and wholesome show that you could watch and just, like, relax to, and, like, for escapism and everything. Like, it's just, go watch the show. Just... but yeah. Do we have any other final thoughts?
No, just that I love this show. This is a show, and honestly, it was a show that I needed to see now. Like, it was just nice.
Yep.
And I will say too, because like I think the part 2 gets way darker and deeper. But part 1, if you just watch part 1, like, just to start out with, part 1 is just so wholesome and loving. Mm-hmm. So.
It's so good. It's really good. It's nice to just see them being struggling musicians. Like, no shade to them, but, like, that's what they are in the first season. They're just struggling musicians trying to make it. I think that's cute.
I do, too.
Yeah. Well, with that, what would we rate it?
I give it a 10, man. It's near it. It's perfect to me. Like, there's not a single thing I would change, really. Like, I guess maybe like a 9.5, because I would like some verification that there were Latinos there. Which, like I said, is hard for me, because anybody can be Latino, so they could have thought of them that way when making them, but they didn't. Like, there were no like names marking it, like all that kind of stuff, which it's an ethnic identity that is hard, but it would have been nice to see something that was kind of like very blatant. But I mean, I think overall, like, this is a near perfect show. Like, it's just good. Like, Watanabe knocks it out of the park again. Like, and when this man makes another show, I will watch it all again.
I agree. Oh, real quick thing I was gonna say, sorry, because your comment reminded me of this. So, I am believing that this show takes place in the same world that Cowboy Bebop takes place.
Really?
Yes. That is, like, it's just, like, I was watching Cowboy Bebop randomly, and then, like, there was a scene on Mars, and I was like, pause. Is that the same place that Carole and Tuesday were at? And I'm just thinking, like, what if it takes place in the same universe? Like, it would be Carole and Tuesday, because, you know, like, in Cowboy Bebop, the Earth is destroyed because of a gate explosion or something. Like, it's a big explosion that and then that's why Faye lives. Like, that's why Faye loses her memory and whatever.
Yeah.
But in Carole and Tuesday, it's very obvious that the Earth is going to shit.
Yeah.
Fast. So there's a reason why everyone on Mars is just like, no, we don't want any refugees from there. I'm like, what the fuck is going on Earth?
Yeah.
So it's kind of like what made me think, like, do Carole and Tuesday take place in the same place that, same place that Cowboy Bebop takes place? Because this, to my point, leading this into, like, your point about, like, Latinx representation, I know there was, like, Latinx representation in Cowboy Bebop.
Oh, yes, there was a lot, yeah.
So it's just, like, it's one of those things where, like, I feel like it would be nice if we get a third season, if we see some of that. But it's just, like, something in my head that I feel like that's something that should have been there, too. Because just, like, if it should have been there if it is in the world of Cowboy Bebop.
Yeah. That would be really cool. That idea is a really cool, and, like, I think that's the actual idea. Like, I think I would believe it. Because, like, it fits.
Right? I think it fits. I mean, I know it's, like, a long shot, and I know, like, it's not like Watanabe does, like, a bunch of, like, universal connections with his work. But I think that would be dope. But then that's also what makes me think, like, because, like, why the world is so diverse. But then we've also had this discussion with, like, the world of Cowboy Bebop. It's not, unless people remember their nationality or, like, wherever their family came from, or their nationality and their ethnicity where their family came from, it gets to a point in that world where I think everyone, like, sees Spike as Asian.
Yeah.
But he identifies as Martian.
Yeah, no, that's a really good point. Like, when you're expanding things that much outside planets, like, how much do we identify as things? Mm-hmm. That's a good point.
But, like, to your point, that's what made me think, like, wow, that does make it hard. Because, like, is this character, like, when I think about it, like, I can say, like, oh, that character's black because they have brown skin, but at the same time, they might not even be black.
Yeah.
They could be Indian. They could be Southeast Asian. They could be... Like,
and we all know that that Japanese art or anime specifically, is very not good with tones and differentiating things. And, like... Nope. Yep. So, looking at you, Sailor Pluto. Yep.
But, like, that's what kind of made me think about it. It's just like, oh my god, yeah, there totally could have been that. But, like, to your point, like, how would you be able to tell a character is Latinx if it's not seen in a name or if it's not seen in a language? Yeah. And it's like, I just thought that was a really good point. Like, yeah, they totally could have been there, but it would have been nice if, like, it was, like, called out more if they were. But... Sorry, didn't mean to ramble on. And, like that, I meant to say that earlier, that I think they exist in the same world.
Yeah, I like that. I like that idea a lot. I definitely think that they do.
Thank you. So, yeah, I'm hoping they do, and I would love to see more. Like, if they want to expand on that, but, like, yeah. Also, it's my turn to rate it. So, I want to give this I'm going to give it a 10. Just because, like, for everything we said, like, I think I really appreciate a anime and a show in general that can be wholesome but also deal with, like, serious issues. Yeah. And I think Carole and Tuesday has a really good balance of that. Even though, like I said, all the stuff with Angela kind of just made me feel like y'all did a lot with her. You put her through a lot in the second season, but this is all real issues that we've known publicly have happened to singers. Like, you know, drugs, loss, mental health, spiraling, all these things have happened to them. So I think it's just like they used her as that character, and I think it definitely made her more human. Yeah. Even though I don't agree with, like, how, like, it just all happened at once, but it's a 30-minute show. But, yeah, I found that I really like shows that have a good balance of wholesomeness, but also being able to do a real shit, like The Good Place. Yeah. So... yeah, I give it a 10. It's good, it's solid, it's wholesome. I would love it if we get a season 3, but I feel like they probably left things off the way they left them.
Yeah, like, part of me wants to say I want a season 3, but the other part of me is just like, no, this was good.
Yeah,
this was an ending, solid. And also it's like Watanabe, so, like, he's very much against doing, like, really long things.
This is true. That man is a 2-season person, like 24 episodes and done, which is why I will always be angry I did not get my Samurai Champloo movie.
I know.
It's not fair. I wanted to see Mugen and Fubi together.
Right?
But,
that's a whole nother conversation.
I know it's another conversation because I feel like you probably found the same fan fiction I found.
Oh, hell yeah. Mm-hmm. I sought that shit out.
Yes, because I needed closure. But, whoo. With that, where can they find us, Kate?
You all can find us at DYHT_pod. Let us know what you thought about Carole and Tuesday. Let us know if you like it. Let us know, like, any thoughts you have really about any anime. And you can find me at OMammothRandier on Twitter.
And you can also find me there at LA_NEY_SHA. And with that, what is your favorite Carole and Tuesday song? Do you guys think that Carole and Tuesday exists in the same world as Cowboy Bebop? And when are y'all gonna go watch Carole and Tuesday? Find out next time on Did You Have To? Bye.
Bye.